No, but seriously, yeah, I cannot believe that he's literally driven across London in the Lambo truck just to hunt man down, just to beef him. Like, that's actually kind of nuts, you know. I've never heard of it in my life, yeah. Someone trying to run someone down in a Lambo or going for beef in a Lamborghini EarSauce. I've never heard of that one. That's something new for the streets of London, right there.
You're talking about Stormzy and Chipmunk, right?
Yeah, Stormzy and Chipmunk.
That's a big flex. That's a big flex.
That's a massive flex. That in itself is actually the maddest flex that someone could actually say, all right, it's on, yeah, I'm coming now in my Lambo. Like, that's a flex.
And the thing is, yeah, he fully pulled up in Grease mode. Like, I've seen the memes comparing him to Ghost from Power. And that's the exact thing Ghost would do. All blacked out, like no feel to tire, just on smoke. That's what it looked like he was about to do. Like,
mate, even James St. Patrick never pulled up in the big whip like that. I think the most he had was an Escalade.
Escalade, bro. In America, that's the big thing, the Escalade.
Escalade is minor things compared to the Lamborghini EarSauce.
No, it is, but like...
But like Escalade's like presidential, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like
they're both big whips. Like they're both status.
But no, I don't even know what to make of this beef. Like, first of all, I don't even understand how it fully started. According to Chip, he said that one of Stormzy's verses was a bit light. That's what he said in his track, right? And I just don't understand how it gets from that to trying to get into someone's house.
Do you want to go for it? You go for it, and then I'll cover any cracks.
So a guy called Mez dropped a track called Kilogram, and the whole track was just him like throwing shells at Chip. It's a dead track, to be fair. Listen to it just to like get context. And then on that Insomnia album, Chip, Ads and Skepta released a track, and Chip's doing a whole verse, cussing Mez. So he's like, you ain't gone bronze, you ain't gone silver, you ain't gone gold or platinum, you just cussing. That's the one bar that everyone's like not following. So the whole verse was about Mez, but a lot of people thought he was actually shooting at Stormzy, and that wasn't the case. And then I think that's been the whole Chip saying to Stormzy, do you want to jump on a track with me and see if you can watch me thing happen? And then, I don't know, came out. And then here we are today.
I would say it goes deeper than that.
It must be deeper.
If I'm putting my conspiracy theory hat on, yeah. So Stormzy's has had beef with Wiley over the years, right? Was it last year when they went? Was it even this year?
It was this year as well.
Bloody hell.
It's been going on for a while, but
but this year that's when they went back to back with War Dubs, yeah. So, who gave Chipmunk his big break in grime?
Tim Westwood.
Okay, what rapper?
Wiley.
Exactly.
Wiley bust everyone pretty much.
Yeah. So essentially, like, Chipmunk will always have Wiley's back. I've never seen. I think so.
Sweet, keep me out of this one. Like when someone tried to drag Chip into it.
The thing is, like, obviously you're gonna say keep me out of it, but when you're in rap's a competition, right? Everyone wants to go to the top, and the best way you go to the top is you take out the top person with bars, especially if you've got equivalent amount of relevancy, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I kind of feel like Chip probably didn't go for Stormzy at that time because it would have looked like he's piggybacking off Wiley. So I'm sure though that he had things in the canister ready to shoot from that Wiley Stormzy beef. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure Stormzy knows that.
So to cut you, it's also one of those things where it's chestnut checkers, isn't it? So
yeah,
you have your bars ready to go from time, sort of thing. So yeah, go on, carry on.
No, so and I reckon as well, like Stormzy as well, he's probably really good at this chess game. So he's probably aware that, Chipmunk is on Wiley's team. So if anything happens, like he probably needs to have bars for Chipmunk too, right? So hearing Chipmunk go at him, even though he hasn't gone at him, he's probably thinking, okay, maybe this is the shot. And I'm not sure how it escalated from that to actual go into his house.
That's what gets me.
Yeah, so either there's something else that we don't understand, because not everything is privy to the public, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I can't see how it's gone from, like, music bars to actually bringing goons to someone's house. And from the reputation that Stormzy's put together, being the unapologetic black man, no one's saying that he has to be perfect, but at the same time, he's made himself a quote-unquote superhero for the youth of today. So for this to come out, I don't know whether or not it's him trying to show that he still has a bit of edge, do you know what I mean, to him? Or like there's something deeper.
Ultimately, I think sometimes people forget, that people... I'm not even speaking badly about Stormzy here. I think Stormzy's a great person. I think he does so much for the culture already in his young career. But I feel like ultimately, if someone feels disrespected and they come from a certain sort of background, they're not going to really fear rising out if they have to, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, Stormzy is genuinely from the streets. Like, he grew up like that, you know what I mean? So if he feels disrespected, I don't think he's someone that's going to shy away from confrontation like that. And that is a bit what I'm saying here, which doesn't make sense to me, is that just having someone send some bars for you that wasn't that bad. It's not like he cussed at his mom. Like, what Wiley said was worse, for example.
But this is the thing, the bars weren't even at Stormzy.
Yeah.
And they must have
if he chose to run down Wiley, I would understand that more than from what's been said with Chip. But, like, obviously with there must be something else behind the scenes. People will say, obviously on Twitter, people chat shit in it, but people will say stuff like, right, Jaman's involved, whatever. And I really highly doubt that's the case.
Do you know what? Yeah, I can see that being one thing. No, I can see that because
that would make sense. That would make sense.
He's been saying on radio that he still loves her, that he wants her back. Like, he's been very wash and soppy around her. Okay, I don't want to say wash, that's a bit strong. But he's shown his emotions about that. He's even dedicated a whole track to her on his recent album. So if Chip did do something to Maya, that would make sense. That would kind of justify it.
Guys, come on. You're talking as if Maya Jama is a defenseless young woman. Like,
I'm not saying like he done something bad. I'm saying like he made a move or they done a thing.
She controlled her own. Like, this is nothing to do with Maya Jama. Like, the thing is, it's easy for everyone to say that because every king has their queen, and Maya Jama was Stormzy's queen, right? So it's like, if there's something wrong with the king, there must have been something to do with the queen, but they're not even together anymore. Do you know what I mean? There's something, you're right, I think you're on the right path along with me. Like, there's something that's happened behind the scenes that we're not privy to, and it's deeper than music.
The truth of the matter is, it could be some other girl as well, like that is a mutual interest in there. So who knows?
But what I also heard was that recording was from June or something like that.
Yeah, it was from June. It was from June.
I haven't verified this myself, but I read that the same day he went to the march, the protest, was the same day he also went to Chips.
It was either that or the next day, but it was in very, very close proximity.
Yeah.
And that's a bit mad because obviously we're meant to be doing the whole unity thing. So why are you then trying to run down man on a beef tip?
Yeah, so
that is a bit odd.
That's why I feel like it
must be something serious.
Yeah, something serious. But also,
go on.
Off like slightly sidebar, I really don't understand how Wiley and Stormzy like genuinely fell out.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. To me, it's pure jealousy. There's no way that Wiley can be upset about someone that's paying him homage. Remember, Stormzy did the song Wiley Flow?
Yeah.
And how can you be upset about someone that's paying you homage and doing well? He should be like, look, this is basically the byproduct of what I did before. Yeah, and he should be happy about it. He should be proud about that. Like, obviously,
I feel like
things work in cycles, isn't it? Yeah, and things escalate. So, for example, the person that invented the internet, right? He's not a multi-billionaire, is he? but the products that come off the back of the internet, those people are multi-billionaires, like people like at Google, all these other companies that like thrive off of the structure that he created. Now it's the same thing with Wiley. Wiley probably hasn't got as much money as Stormzy, and in fact I'm sure he doesn't. But Stormzy is literally a byproduct of what he created, and he should be proud of him. And if he wasn't such an arsehole about it, I'm sure that
they could have done great things.
I'm sure that he would have. I'm sure that he would have carried on.
So I feel like this was like a calculated move by Wiley that backfired massively. Like he was dropping the Godfather Part, whatever it was, or whatever. I think the Wiley album that was heavily influenced by reggae. He was dropping one of them albums, and then he reignited a Twitter feud with Stormzy. I think that was intentional to build promo, and it just backfired.
I was thinking that it's all mad. What I'm interested in here now is like obviously Chipmunk seems like he has a project on the way. Right?
Yeah, he does.
And it's
But
the fact that
he seems like he's got a project. What makes you think he has a project on the way?
It's in both the videos.
It's on the video.
Right.
Yeah, now it's got a project on the way. And also, not only did he release a song, he released a video. The second video has like the whole dance routine shit going on as well. So it's not like the Shell petrol station video where it's just like him, or like it's not like it's a video of just him and a bunch of goons. No, he's actually putting together a production, isn't it? Yeah. So where I'm going with this is Stormzy not applying because he thinks that he has to have more bullets in the clip before he does? Is he not applying because he doesn't want to give Chipmunk exposure? Or is he not applying because whatever's happened between them, he sees as being deeper than rap, and he doesn't want to settle it on wax? I think it's one of those things.
I think it's a combination of, I feel like he knows this is going to be a steeper hill to climb, so to speak, and he might not be able to beat Chip in this realm. So
Chipmunk is a ferocious.
Yeah, so he's just deciding to not respond. Like sometimes the best response is no response. And also he's not trying to give Chip any free promo. So they're actually feuding, like it's in his best interest to not respond. Because if he responds, then he has to deal with the wrath of Chip's pen, which isn't going to be easy. And then it's going to get more promo. And if he's getting verbally beat down, it's just not going to be a good look for him.
It's not going to be good for his career. But there's another aspect to it as well now. Some people say that this looks a bit staged. And personally, I didn't think it looked staged, but I can understand some aspects of why people say that. Because why would if you literally are going to do harm to someone, why would you A, go in the middle of the day? Why would you B, actually go yourself? Like as a big star, you probably shouldn't be the one doing the dirt yourself. And C, why are you driving the Lamborghini, bro? That's mad bait. Wherever you go, a Lamborghini it's gonna cause it. Like people are gonna stare at it. They're gonna be attentive.
Yeah, you want to go very dark before transit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when come on, man, and everyone knows that Lambo makes noise as well. So you're gonna hear it if you don't see it. So, it's all a bit mad.
Thinking with this as well, like, what if because somebody's like the GOAT at the moment in terms of like UK rap, he has to come like Drake. You know what I mean? Like he has to come.
Have his shooters on deck, but
exactly not like, and even that. But if he comes on wax,
I'm not saying I want to be here.
If he comes out on wax, he has to come out on a back-to-back, not a charged up, if that makes sense.
He has to basically do it like how
exactly.
Meek Mill. But that's the thing. Chipmunk is like heavily experienced in this whole rap beef thing, ground beef thing, sending shots, spit thing. Like Chipmunk is not going to get outmaneuvered like that. If you're going to beat him, you have to beat him bar for bar. And I feel like, Chip don't win out of bars, isn't it? So
yeah, the only way to beat Chip is to either expose something no one knows about him, or you're gonna have to hire your goons to rough him up, and then just like rip into that. Like if he has like a funny response, like he cries or he runs away, That's the only way
Yeah.
I can see it. Like, he can say whatever,
And that
but
might be what.
it's like he can call him what, but Chip's not a very good guy. So, like, really, his resources for battling Chip are already limited.
Yeah, it's true. You know, like he beat him up, then like, what have you really
Yeah.
proven by doing that? Like, you know, it's not really saying much. But yeah, like that's been like a mad topic from the past week. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'll tell you what, we've got some mad comedy clips come out of it though. Like, I'll tell you, mate. Like some of the videos, Sideman.
Oh yeah,
one,
gospel. What was it?
and
Gospel. The gospel reply or something like that.
Still anointed, I think it was. Cool, yeah. And Munya Chahara did a great one as well. Like Munya's work rate is crazy.
He's that
You know?
the next day.
Like what? I think Chip releases video like 8 or 9 o'clock or something like that in the evening, and like by the next morning, Munya had already dropped his response.
With visuals.
Like, he's nuts, bro.
visuals.
With visuals, man was in Crystal Palace Shell petrol station recording at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Like that work ethic deserves like respect, innit? Like I do respect it.
No, I reckon just
anyway,
to finish up, I reckon they probably had this as part of the rollout plan. It makes sense, like what you guys have said.
Yeah.
This like if it was filmed in June, as that girl Lani says, they were sitting on this bad boy piece of information for the rollout. Yeah.
I feel like that could be a thing. But we don't know when Chips was recorded. I know, is it Flowers? That must have been recorded ages ago. Because of the productions in the video, that must have been recorded at least a month ago. But the other one might have been recorded a bit later. But of the 2 tracks, which do you prefer?
Interesting. It looks like this is going to carry on for a little while though, so it'd be interesting to see how it was. I think that no one gets hurt. I want to just keep it. I want to hear some good music come out of it. I don't want to hear about anyone getting beaten, stabbed, or whatever. I don't want to hear any of that negativity.
It can't.
They're two important people in hip hop in the UK for sure. Anyway, before we move on to the first review, I've got something that I just remembered to bring up. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago we were reviewing Alicia Keys' album, and I said that she does not deserve her status in the music industry because a lot of the music she releases is hot garbage. And I think we were in the group chat last week, and I forgot to say it last week, but last week, Ollie goes, you know what, I listened to Alicia Keys' stuff again, and it's trash, man, it's trash.
Recent album.
That is what you said.
Recent album.
No. Okay,
album.
Okay.
It's trash.
No.
But I stand by my comment.
Okay.
The first 3 albums are really good.
I'm going to put it out there, she's done a lot more than 3 albums now. She don't deserve her status anymore.
Let's see how many albums she's done.
Boom.
No.
Let's see
right.
albums she's done. Is right. He is as usual.
Because
usual.
That is
right.
On Wikipedia right now.
He is right.
And I'm going to reel them off to you. All right. Yeah, she's done a lot more albums than I thought.
So she's done 7 albums. Yep. And you're saying 3 albums are good. Therefore, 4 are shite.
She's had 7 albums. Yeah.
They are shite. That is right.
The first one, phenomenal.
That is right.
Exemplary.
And they are shite.
Phenomenal.
Okay, anyway. Moving on.
After that. So, Alicia is our first
one. Bank card.
I'm joking, not first. Alicia's terrible.
Anyway, let's move on from here. Because we understand now. We've come to the proper understanding that Alicia Keys. Anyway, we have a really big album come out this week. One that I was really looking forward to actually, and from one of the biggest artists in the UK now. I would say definitely of this new generation that's come through. Headie One. He released his debut album Edna, and for me, I really enjoyed it. What are you guys thinking?
I'll let you go, money.
Go first, mate.
All right. I liked it a lot. A lot. I didn't expect to like it a lot. I thought it'd be average at best. When I saw the track list and how long it was, but it was pretty damn good. And there was a lot more depth than I thought there would be as well. A lot more depth.
I think I'm getting old, guys. I think I'm getting old.
You didn't like it?
No, like I just couldn't really connect to it. Like, I feel like maybe this new drill sound isn't for me, and that's fine because that's not the music I grew up with, right? But what was annoying is I listened to that and then I listened to, let's say, like the Papoose's new album as well.
Ooh.
And I enjoyed the Papoose album, but I didn't really catch the same vibes I did listening to Headie One. If that makes sense, like I just don't get it. That's what it is for me. Like I don't get it, and yeah, and I can see the appeal. I can see why the youngsters love it. Maybe I haven't been to, like, let's say, a club environment where like Headie One's on the sound, so I'm missing out that portion of it. But just listening to it on a day to day, I didn't catch the vibes. You know what I mean? So there was a few tracks that I liked. I liked the "Ain't It Different" track with AJ and Stormzy. I didn't enjoy the track with him and Future. To be honest, I didn't. I enjoyed the one with him and Ivory Doll. If You Pay Me. I kind of enjoyed the one with him and Mahalia as well. But yeah, for me,
what about the one with Skepta?
No, that was a miss as well.
Oh, you bugging.
Wow,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I think.
I'll tell you what. I didn't expect that from you, to be honest. I thought you would have enjoyed the hype tunes a lot, actually.
Yeah,
so I'm quite surprised.
Maybe I need to listen to it in the gym or something. But yeah, I didn't.
Maybe, but nah. So I listened to this album about 3 or 4 times now, and I can say that I really enjoyed it. The first time I listened to it, I felt like the first half of the album, I didn't connect with it, but I liked the second half of it. And the first half had a bit more of a grime feel, some drill infused beats as well, and I feel like I didn't connect with it the first time I listened. And then you get to I think it's like around the track with Drake, the freestyle, and I think the feature tracks before that, right? Anyway, around that point in the middle period of the album, I started to enjoy it a bit more. And I really actually enjoyed the track with H. I think that the way him and H go back and forth on that track,
anytime H is featured on a track, he actually always delivers. He's really good.
He delivers. That guy can rap, man. And his bars are just like, they're just so...
He's cheeky.
I feel like he's so casual with it when he raps. He's mad cheeky.
He's got a good flow.
Yeah, and I really liked it, so I like that. And then the track of Skepta, Try Me, is not. So they're like, what was it, track 14, 15, and 16? Try Me with Skepta, If You Pay Me with Ivorian Doll, and Parlez-Vous Anglais with H. Those 3 tracks, like that period of the album is, I think, to me, it's the best because like those 3 tracks, they just lead into each other so well.
So for me, I feel like I'm with you, Manny, whereby I don't like drill. I don't understand the hype behind it. It doesn't, like, I just don't get it. But I feel like Headie One, that's what I'm saying. I feel like he's, like, as he says in one of his tracks, not on this album, but he can do rap, trap, drill. And even then, his drill is a bit more approachable as opposed to some of the other people. So...
yeah, just because he can actually rap, though. Like, without any disrespect, some drill artists, they don't actually rap well. They just say really ludicrous things. Like, there's really violent shit, basically, what they say.
Yeah, that's what I don't get.
But they're not actually good rappers. Headie's a sick rapper, so when he's on drill,
yeah,
he just
I feel like
sick.
he outsung Drake on that freestyle track, and that's supposed to be a drill track, right? So, like, I thought it was really good in a way.
I listened to it through, got to the end, there's a song at the end called Cold with Cash Page. I thought that was another feature that I didn't expect to see, but it was a good one. I really enjoyed it as a slower, more reflective ending to the album. But then when I listened to the album again the next day, I really did connect more with the beginning of the album, like those earlier tracks that had more of a, like I said, more of a grime feel to it rather than a UK rap sort of feel. And to be honest with you, the track that I probably liked the least was probably Ain't It Different with AJ Tracy and Stormzy. And Princess Cuts with Young T and Bugsy. And the reason is I thought they were like almost pop tracks compared to the rest of the album. So I don't think the albums are, honestly, I don't think those songs are bad. Just that I could tell that they were really made to get like plays on radio or whatever else. It wasn't that wasn't authentic Headie One.
And maybe that's probably why I liked it, to be honest, because if I don't get like the sound properly and I gravitate to the more commercial like tracks of the album, that just goes to show like I just don't get the sound.
All right, so what's your standout song?
I think it was Breathless. I wrote down. No, Breathing. That's my standout song.
Yeah, that was a good track.
Cool. Yeah, my one was Part of Wrangler. The bars on that track are just hilarious.
I was thinking that.
I think nowadays,
track, but I felt like Breathing was a bit better for the depth, and that's mainly him. But
the thing here now is I really feel that they must have recorded that song in the studio together, because nowadays you can hear it in the music as well when the verse is just emailed in. Like there's been no collaboration per se beyond.
Do you feel like that's what happened with the Future song?
I'm not sure about the Future one, because there's Future's in that song a lot, and it's like it's not back and forth, but I feel like I don't know. It could have been done over the internet. It's possible, but the one with Drake, that was definitely done over the internet. Like, there's no way that they were in the studio together, because literally the two verses are just completely separate. Like, there's no even what they're talking about.
I feel like the Drake one was done in a studio in the UK, because I feel like the Future one was done around the same time as well, and he just sat on that track.
I know that Future was in the UK as well. Was it late last year or early this year? So it's possible it happened. But I just know that H and Headie, it looked like they were literally in the studio together, writing together, and they went back and forth together, and it just sounded really good when it came out. And I like that sort of stuff. So yeah, that was my SOS. How many ears are you giving it?
I was bouncing between a 3 and 4.
Let Manny go first this one. So Manny, what are you giving it?
I'm going to give it a 2.
The thing is, if it's not for me, it's not for me. So 2 stars.
2 ears, bro. 2 ears.
2 ears. 2 ears.
Cool. What are you
I was
doing
bouncing between a 3 and 4. Like, I don't know where to put it. I feel like you could argue it's a 4, given it's like it's really good release from him.
Like that's how I view it.
So I don't think it's as good as some of the other 4s we've given.
So then it's not a 4 then. If we can't sit, it's not as good. It's not.
I feel like this is good enough to be up there with Rocky Fresh's album, to be honest with you. I feel like this is a 4. And I feel like it's like if it's not a 4, it's like a 3.9 or a 3.8. So why not give it a 4?
That's not.
I feel like if it's going to be a democracy, you've got to make it a 3. But I really feel like you could argue that it's a 4. Now, I don't think it's as good as, say, Tory Lane's album, or I think it might be just as good as Rocky Fresh. We gave that a 4. But I do think it's better than a lot of the other 3s we've given, like West Side Gun. Wait, did we give him 3? No, we didn't. Coming and stuff.
So you're comparing it to the others.
I feel like this is a 4, but I feel like
I can't.
You really think? Hold on, so this is the thing now, Manny. Yeah? Do you think it's that the quality of the music was poor, or that it just didn't connect to you? Because there's a difference here. Because there's a difference, for example, like with 6ix9ine, where to me that was a case of the music quality being poor.
What did I
listen to at the end?
It not connecting with you. I never listened to it. That's what Manny said. Manny said it was a 2. We reviewed 6ix9ine in the first
I'm struggling to think what I gave 6ix9ine.
You wanted to give it a 2. I gave it.
You gave it a 2.
Okay, yeah. So
if that's a 2, there's no way.
No, then okay, I'll move it to a 3. like it's an average album, but maybe if it connected with me more, like I'm just not familiar enough with Headie One and his style of music. So for me, I'll give it 3-star. But yeah,
Yes. All right, cool. And if Ollie's saying like a 4, and I'm saying it's like a 4, and you're saying it's a 3, then it probably is a 4 then. So there you go. Lovely guys.
it's not.
Matt
What is
is
Headie
really,
One?
Matt is really trumping the podcast today.
Nah,
Man,
honestly, I really, no. Headie deserves a 4. Headie
But
deserves a
then
4. Man. He
no, I'm
deserves
not
a 4.
having that because
No. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. No.
wait, Ollie, do you think it's a 4?
So in my notes, I put it as a 4.
Okay, if you two think it's a 4, then
Remember, listen, I'm thinking, I really feel like we need point scores.
no points.
No, we're not doing points. So it's all or nothing.
Okay, so
there
if
you
we're
go.
calling something a
4
3.5, we should just bump it up to a 4, right?
It's not a 3.5 though. It'd be like
Maybe
a
like a
3.8. Let's
3.6 or 7.
support. Great, lovely.
No,
Moving on.
Yeah. Go
Oh my
on,
Lord.
Ollie.
Go on.
Tap your piece.
Yeah, innit? Settle down, Trump. I'm thinking, like, if we're, like, I think we should have, like, a point system. But if we can't settle on that... Wait.
No one's got time for that.
Point system, and we're tracking, like, a 3.5 or a 3.6, and we just bump it up to a 4. So in that case, for this album, I would have to put it at a 4.
Alright, cool. So that's it. 4 it is.
Wait me up when you're done,
it's a
please.
4. You guys have
Alright, cool. We're done. Go on, Manny,
cool.
introduce the next album.
The next one that I would like to talk about, this is an advert for RSPCA. In New York, in the zoos, there's an endangered species at the moment of good quality lyricists. But luckily, there was one found last week. It's the Papoose.
Ooh.
The Papoose.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I do. You know when you listen to something and you forget that you miss something. It's like when you're scrolling through your old photos and you see a little something that reminds you of someone in the past, and you're like, right. I think listening to this album reminded me of like when I used to download Papoose tracks off of LimeWire. He's been around for ages.
Just to put context into it, I believe that Papoose was like breaking through around the time when Chris Brown released his first album.
I feel like
maybe
it
second
was,
album. So that's like a good over 10 years ago now, maybe 15 years ago.
2006 or 5. I remember when Busta Rhymes had Touch It, and he was a featured artist on a remix.
Yeah,
that was Papoose. Papoose was around long before that.
That's when he was getting big features, and everyone was saying he was the next big artist to blow. So it was like just after game.
Yeah, but I'm saying so that is 15 years ago, and that's probably even more than that. So that's crazy that he's still not actually done much. Right, anyway, go on, carry on.
Yeah, so for me, like it brought back a lot of memories. Alphabetical Slaughter, Touch It, and there's also that track with Joe, Where You At, as well. That brought back some Papoose memories. But listening to this, you can obviously tell this isn't Papoose of back in the day. This is like adult contemporary Papoose, he's spitting some real stuff on this album, touching a lot of subjects, one of them including the Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement, which is currently ongoing. The way he handled it, I thought, was really unique, going through all the victims and naming them alphabetically and putting bars towards them. I think that was like a very interesting homage. Also, I've really enjoyed that human body track as well, where he broke down parts of the brain in a way that only certain lyricists can. So I put Papoose in terms of his lyricism up there with like your Jay-Z's, your Wretch 3-2s, like masters of the craft, in my opinion. Yeah, so for me, I enjoyed this album. My standout track for this song, I struggle to say if it was. I think it's either Numerical Slaughter, COVID-19, or The Human Brain. Out of all of those, I'll probably say Human Brain is my shout-out song. And I give this for me is easily 4 years. No, I'm joking. 3 years. I think 4 years, maybe not, but 3 years definitely.
I want to jump in. So there's like 3 tracks now that I think of that are like pushing the bounds of creativity, and those are "I Gave You Power" by Nas,
Yeah.
"Keep It 100" by John Lucas, purely because of the visuals that go alongside it, and "COVID-19," which is one of the tracks on this album. Like, if you want to hear like creative rap, just listen to any of those 3 tracks. "COVID-19" was mad creative. Like, just the way it starts, it just sets the scene that you don't know where he's going to go with it, or you sort of do, but you don't. And it just follows throughout this album. Like, every track is so creative and well thought out. The content is A1. The lyrics are phenomenal. Like, Papoose has always been talented, but is this like his first like proper album? Second.
He did that necessarily with Jim as well before.
So he just always delivers. He doesn't put out as much content as everyone else, but his content is just amazing. Like, Manny summed it up pretty much perfectly, but this was an album that when I listened to last week, like I was so gassed. Like, it sent chills down my spine. Like, my hairs were standing up. Like, I was amazed. I was totally amazed.
What makes that statement more amazing is that Ollie has no hair, so. It's a miracle.
Oh my God. Listen, yeah. Trey Songz needs to go.
My turn.
Not Trey Songz. I mean, Tory. The hair transplant. Okay.
I don't think, Papoose ain't got any hair anymore.
Papoose is my idol on the top.
Anyway.
Those who don't know.
Alright. Cool. So after the Sleep Festival review from Ollie and Manny, let me bring some flavour to your ears. Some sauce to your ears. So basically this year, Papoose is a ridiculously intelligent artist. He's extremely talented, and I believe he's actually too clever for his own good. That's my true belief here. So to put into context, right, we talked about a minute ago how long he's been around for, but he basically put his career on hold whilst his wife, Remy Ma, she went to prison, right? She went to prison for attempted murder. So I guess he was out, but he was hoping to put together a case or a release or something, I don't know, but he wasn't really making any music. And then, so now he's come back and he's releasing music again. He says in the first track, Billionaire, that he's not been doing this for fun anymore. He's doing this to feed his daughter and to make sure that she has a livelihood going forward, which is okay, that's cool. And honestly, in this album and from music he's done before, you just know that Papoose can go bar for bar with anybody in the rap game. He's that good, yeah? But the problem is that that's not how music works. Like, it doesn't really matter how good your bars are, the music has to be good as well. And like if it was just about how good your bars are, the music industry wouldn't be how it is now, because you have people that can't rap that are top in hip hop and R&B charts, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So this is where I think Papoose loses it a bit. Some of the songs that he does, it's the flows, the bars, the lyrical flexing is just incredible how he does it. But the music itself is rubbish. Like,
do you feel like he needs to give himself
that's what I found in his album.
A producer?
Yeah, I think if he had a producer that will work with him and basically guide him, that'd be great. But I also think to myself that at his age now, he ain't gonna change. You ain't gonna change now. That's the sort of thing you need when you're in your early 20s, someone to guide you and help you, like, basically unlock your potential. But I think right now, Papoose was signed to Busta Rhymes back in the day, right? I seen Busta. So Busta Rhymes is someone that's a talented rapper, but he could also make a fun track as well. Papoose ain't really making them fun tracks. Those of his tracks is like, you need to go and pull out your encyclopedia, and to get a notepad, and to be doing Google searches. It's mad. Like the COVID-19 track, crazy. The human body track, the brain, whatever, crazy. Numerical slaughter, crazy. All of the songs, like lyrically, they're nuts, right? But I don't want to listen to that music. Like I don't want to. I don't want to listen to it. Like so, yeah. For me, standout song was "Billionaire," which is the first track on the album. And I'm not gonna say it just goes to shit after that, because it doesn't. The other songs, there's some other decent songs in there, and you will appreciate hearing the songs like The Human Body and COVID-19 because of what he's saying, the wordplay, stuff like that, and how he's managed to tie everything back together to the main point is incredible. But after you heard it once, maybe twice, you really don't want to hear it again. You're not going to have it on in the background whilst you're chilling or whatever. So yeah, for me, standout song "Billionaire," and it's a 3 ears, and I give it a 3 ears because of the fact that lyrically what he's doing is astonishing, but for the music it would probably be a 2 ears, to be honest with you, but it deserves a 3.
I feel like Jay-Z said it best, where he said, truthfully, he wants to rap like common sense, but since he done 5 mil, he ain't doing nothing like common sense. That's a bar, by the way, but I feel like it's a 4 ears. Like, yeah, I said this in the group chat. I'm standing by that. If you don't give it a 4, that's on you lot. But I'm just saying, I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is the best album I listened to. Best rap album I listened to. Not the best album in total, but best rap album I listened to this week.
That is wild, but okay. So if I'm saying 2, Manny's saying 3, and you're saying 4, then it's fair to give it a 3. Yeah?
Yeah. It's a 4 though. Like it was just like.
Wait, hold on. When we did it for Headie One, you argued to death on that. So,
like, if you put it on the content, yeah, the content is out of this world. Like, the quality of what he's doing is out of this world. Like, the only thing you want is something that you can say as a single, like, get sat down. And I understand that, but this is art. This is actual art.
No. That's not correct. That's not what I said. I know I said that I just want me to just play in the background. I don't mind having music that is deeper or has a message and stuff like that. I like that sort of stuff, right? I'm saying to you that this isn't music. This is actually what it is. It's actually pure rap. It's probably rap in its purest form. That if it wasn't even a beat to go over, you probably just rap like this, like just standing up on a street corner rapping. Like, I'm not even powering off here. I'm saying, but it doesn't need a beat. You just literally lyrically just slaughtering everything, but it's not. But yeah, that is how rap started out. But that is not what rap is today. No, it's man.
Like a couple
That's what I'm saying. What I'm got here is what I expect from Papoose, right? But I'm not. I mean, this isn't the Papoose podcast. This is the EarSauce podcast. He's been compared to the other musicians that I listen to on my daily, and for me, I would rather listen to them than to this. Because this, as music, no, I don't. That's not how it works. This is not an objective review. It's a subjective review. Because I'm reviewing things from my perspective.
So from your perspective, what do you give it?
That's what I think, bro.
2.
No, but the 2 sounds harsh because the lyrics are good. But so I'm saying, I think it's a 3 is fair.
Not, like, based on his own lyrics, yeah, like alone, he's a 3. He's above the average, but his beat selection isn't. So naturally, it's a 3.
His lyrics
3 is fine. I'm fine with 3, but I can't give it a 4.
Right. I don't know what else you want from him. Like, he's never going to be that person that's going to give you that sort of music.
How about he gets Ninth Wonder in the studio with him?
Didn't he have DJ on this as well?
How about that? That might be a start.
DJ Premier, didn't you have him on the?
Who?
Yeah, he did. On the working track.
Was DJ Premier on that?
I don't know, but
Man. If that was DJ Premier on
yeah,
that
but
track,
DJ
then
Premier is good at
he
making
didn't do
beats
very
that
well
with
on that,
super
man.
boost, where it's just like basic,
Yeah.
nothing that you're gonna like hum. So
You know what?
Yeah.
DJ Premier does great beats if you're in a cipher as well. And I don't want to sound bad because he's an incredible rapper, but I'm an incredible producer. Sorry, but like, yeah.
Cool. So what are we giving it? Are we all in agreement for
Anyway.
stuff?
I'm standing. by
3
4,
years. 3 years. Why do I keep saying fucking?
I'm standing by 4, but just like we put down West Side Gun last week from a 3 to a 2, I'll fall on my sword this week for Papoose.
By the way, Papoose is actually on his 4th album now. I didn't realize he released the album in 2015 and 2019 as well. But it's just bubbles on the ground, like it just. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so it's a 3, right?
If that's what you guys want to call it that. I've been outvoted. I'll it's okay.
Cool. All right then. Moving on. Next album, Trey Songz, Back Home. I'll start on this one.
Yeah.
I'll start on this one, right? I love Trey Songz. I do. You can't sing like him, man. You really can't. But yeah, Trey Songz been one of my favorite R&B. Trey Songz been one of my favorite artists as I heard his first album. And I just think to myself that he's had a couple of good. He was actually on a great run of music at the beginning of his career, and then he had like a little renaissance as well, where he just became a bigger artist almost midway through his career. Since then, I think he's slowed down a little bit, but and I'll say that with this album, I wasn't. I think this album might actually be
just don't be nice, man.
Piece of work, actually.
Treat him
I have to say, let's put it this way, right? It's an R&B album. Nah, I'm not gonna do it because Trey Songz has never been seen as a megastar, so let's not do that one. Look here, it's like the song's got some good R&B songs on there. You could probably make a baby or two to it as well. But I just thought to myself that really and truly, you probably use somebody else's album. We probably just go back and find some old R. Kelly if you haven't actually cancelled them, because like this one wasn't great. Or better still, just go back and listen to like Ready or Trade Day or Passion, Pain and Pleasure, because those albums are much better than Back Home. It's that simple. The best song for me on the album was GLA, Get a Love Affair, and I like the story behind the album, or the story in the song, but yeah, that was it. There's a lot of crooning, you know. Trey Songz is flexing his voice. It's a good voice. Everyone likes it. But it just doesn't hold a candle to his earlier work. And if anything, what it's proven to me is that whatever he had going on with Lori Harvey, it wasn't that deep, because if he was upset when they broke up, then, you know, he would have had some better reasons to go with it, you know. So yeah.
This is awkward.
Next.
Who wants to go? Oh, you go.
Do you know what? I listened to Bryson Tiller before I listened to this album. Again, I listened to Bryson Tiller again. And going from Bryson Tiller's album to this album was like head and shoulders above. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was too long, far too long. But I thought it was a good album. Like, singing was on point. The tracks were good. Nothing really stood out as amazing, but like they were good. You can vibe to it. I've never been the biggest Trey Songz fan. I liked him, but not as much as like Usher or other artists. But there's not a track that I think, oh, this is trash, I'm gonna skip this, or oh, that's annoying, or that's boring. But it's a track that I can just it's okay or good every track. A couple of tracks. Did you?
I had a couple of songs that I skipped.
I liked it. I enjoyed listening to it. It was good. I think where I was helped as well. Like I was in London, just walking around, observing the skyscrapers as one does. But I liked it. Right, I was chilled. I was mellowed out. De-stressed me. Like it was a good album. I can't fault it in like the way that I expected more. I haven't expected a lot from Trey in a while. So in that respect, it quite surprised me how decent it was.
Okay. I think you guys are being too nice. Can you hear me? Yeah, am I good? Hear me loud? Yeah. All right. Cool. Trigger.
Man, he's gonna come and be like, "This album is doo-doo. It was doo-doo butter.
So let me
doo-doo
go
flakes."
back. Trigger Reloaded by Trey Songz, 2015. Had songs like Slow Motion, Ooh, Na Na Na. Had Nicki Minaj.
That album, what's
Mate,
it?
it has so many bangers. Foreign was crazy. Dead One was crazy. Disrespectful was crazy. All We Do was crazy. Mr. Still Your Girl was crazy. I love that song. Oh my god. I love that song.
Passion, Pain and Pleasure, right? Bottoms Up.
Oh my
That's
god.
what I have to say. I don't have to go into anything else.
But Bottoms Up was kind of dry. Bottoms Up was kind of dry.
Bruh, have you ever been in a club? Bottoms Up was going down.
Oh, man.
When was this? 2010. Oh my.
Yeah, but
Wait, Unusual was a great one. Made to Be Together was a great song as well. Oh my god, the album had mad. Love Faces was a great song. Look at it, Already Taken was a nice song. Oh my god, Panty Dropper.
Already Taken was amazing.
Panty Dropper.
I'm listening to Trey Songz after this podcast.
Look here. Trey's got some crazy albums, and this one wasn't it. That's what I'm saying.
Basically, can you look? I just needed to breathe. Let that breathe for a second, yeah. I've given you his past tracks now, and comparing that to Back Home, is there a comparison? Yeah. So, like,
No, it's not what I'm
for
saying.
me, it's below his average. Like, I thought it was quite boring, if I'm being honest. I thought I don't know what it is. Maybe Trey Songz is in a different headspace. Like, yeah, maybe
He's too happy. He's very happy right now, man. He's got his little boy. He's just happy. He's too content, man. I need Trey Songz that's supposed to go run through women all day.
Because of Corona. One thing I think feels like maybe because of Corona, like he wasn't able to test this out in the clubs to see what works. Do you know what I mean? So,
I know, man.
Oh,
remember the songs? Remember Say R? Remember Neighbors Know My Name? Remember all them ones?
Bangers.
Like he had so many songs. Yeah.
Yeah, this ain't it.
That one back.
This ain't it.
We need that.
Yeah.
We need Savage Trey. We need Savage Trey songs back. Yeah.
Like, I would say
Mellow Trey. I like Mellow Trey.
Yo, Mellow Ollie. So you. Yeah.
And you know what it is? I think it's because Ollie's basically married. Ollie's basically married already, so maybe that's why he's appreciates these
that's for Trey.
I need that Savage
Tory
shit.
Lanez. Tory's coming with that Savage. You know what I mean? He's taking that old Trey Songz spot.
Well, that's remember he's copied his name, so it makes sense that he copied his sound as well.
Naturally, my favorite track is going to be "Sleepless" with Davido as well. So. Yeah, I'll give.
Well, I didn't give my standout track actually.
Oh, sorry, mate. But let me give the ears, 2 ears from me. It's below his average.
Ooh, mine was Back Home actually. My standout track. I think that was the last track.
Oh no, the last track on that album is Just a Baby making noises.
Oh yeah, no.
It's like Noah's track.
I was way off. That's not even. It's not even close to the last track.
Yeah. Yeah, no, cool. So, what are you rating out, Manny?
2.
2.
Yeah, I gave it 2 ears. Yeah.
Manny, what you? 2. Okay, 2 ears. And Ollie?
I'm not even gonna say what I had in my notes. I'm gonna change my score now on the fly.
Wait, what did you have? No.
Yes, 40 years. Yes, 40 years now, isn't it?
I'm not even confirmed or denied, but I'm gonna send my notes to the group chat later on. I'm gonna make it a 3.
Well, okay, so now I feel bad now, innit? Because like Trey's my guy, innit? Yeah, like I feel bad. I grew up with Trey Songz, innit? But I don't ever want to. I never want to give it a 2, but maybe
You don't
I have to.
It has to be.
But like, yeah. I had it done. I had it done as a 3 in it. I did because I think that I have it done as a 3 because the reason I have it as a 3 is because I think the songs are okay. You can listen to it through. It's okay. It's got some fast, high tempo songs, some lower, slower love songs, whatever. But then, yeah, it's like whatever in it. Like it's a 3. I don't think it's actually a poor album.
Like,
just that it doesn't live up to my expectations on Trey Songz.
Rating because, like, listening to Bryson before and then listening to Trey straight after and completely disregarding this whole back catalogue for some reason made me view this album in a completely different light. I'm pretty sure I gave him a 2.
Okay, but if you're saying it's better than Bryson Tiller's album and you gave Bryson a 3, then it's fair to give us a 3 as well. Okay, so it's a 3 then. Next album, DBE.
What were your thoughts, man?
Okay,
I feel like you lot are hella rude for not actually listening to this album, bro. You subjected me to this album, 19 minutes of this album, but I persevered.
A collection of artists or people I like to listen to. And when I saw the album was an hour and a half, I did not want to subject my ears to a movie of trash. So in light of that, I skipped that album.
This is, guys, to the listeners out there worldwide, I need to understand that this is the garbage I have to work with.
Time is precious.
The lack of dedication on their part is just quite purely disgusting. But I persevere. I persevere. Anyway, so I took my 90 minutes of my day and I listened to the same song 29 times. Nah. In all seriousness, like it's 29 tracks long, and the content is the same. I know that this isn't. I know I'm not the target audience for this album, and it really isn't for me. But the songs sound like way too similar. It's got little to the variety in the subject matter as well. It's just samey. I feel like if the album was a bit shorter, and I always say this with these really long albums, but if the album was a bit shorter, then maybe I would feel like it would be a bit better because you could take away some of the lower quality songs. Because the truth of the matter is, the reason why I didn't enjoy this album so much is because the songs just sound the same so much. But some of the songs are actually okay. And I feel like the two guys, Dirt Bike and Young Ads, there's a talent there, but I feel like because they're doing so well, making the music that what they're making, they're not even trying to unlock their talent. They're not trying to level up as rappers, if that makes sense. They're getting really good numbers, really good streams with their current kind of action, the current tactics. So they're just sticking to it. But like even on some of the tracks, like, they're never bothering to actually rap properly. Like they're not really rhyming properly. They're just leaning on the melodies and auto-tune to take them through the track. And I think to myself, like, I'm not going to say it's lazy, but I just think to myself, they could do better if they wanted to. But like I said, they're doing well, so why change it? Then that's what they're doing. So for me, I gave the album 2 ears, and I think the best song on it was called Drunk Fuck Stupid. But yeah, it could easily be a 3-ear album if it was a bit shorter. And I didn't have to keep hearing like the same thing.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I feel like I might have to hold my review next week because it's not fair that Matt had to go through 90 minutes without same level of I'm going to hold my review, give that to you guys next week. But I did listen to Destiny and UFO, the singles. I thought UFO had it was sounding kind of sick. Yeah. I'm not going to lie.
That's what I'm saying. Some of the songs on there are decent, yeah, but it's just like there's too far and few between. Like if there was like say a 15-track album, and then like every 4 tracks you get a good song, then that'd be okay.
So how many
but
good
when it's
songs
like
were
a
there?
30-track album,
The thing is, I think
that's not okay. I think about 3 or 4.
I mean,
songs.
as well with these streaming, it's all about if you've got like a captive audience, you can exploit it with the algorithms because they're gonna. How many monthly listeners do they have? They have 2 million monthly listeners, right? If all 2 million of them listen to their new album, like that's a lot of rap.
For 30 tracks or 29 tracks.
Yeah.
And they drop twice a year normally as well, so sometimes even 3 times a year. So yeah, it's a lot.
For
and
sure.
plus, you say 2 million. That's probably just on Spotify. They probably got others on YouTube and Apple and wherever else. So yeah, I get what they're doing. I'm not gonna custom for that. They got to get their bread in it, but like I just say that the quality of work isn't really there. Moving on. Dinner party, dessert.
Yeah, go for it.
Who wants to go first? So should I introduce it? I'll introduce them. So, Dinner Party are a collection of artists. They are some legendary producers in there. You got Robert Glasper, who's a legendary jazz hop producer, you could say. You've got Ninth Wonder. He's a legendary rap producer. He's been on for seemingly ages. And you've also got Terrace Martin, who's someone I only became familiar with him probably in the last 5 years. And again, he's another LA-based producer whose sound is kind of like R&B, hip-hop, jazz infused. And another, yeah, exactly that. And the fourth member is Kamasi Washington, who I'm actually quite unfamiliar with, but he's a jazz saxophonist, but he's also like the sort of style is the same. So I have to label this a jazz hop album / R&B album, and I quite enjoyed it really. What this is a new edition of an album or an EP that they released this year, and with this edition, it's got additional rappers and singers on there. So you have extra verses on some of the songs, or different chorus, etc., etc. And yeah, I just found it an enjoyable listen. I didn't think it was anything groundbreaking or special, but I thought to myself that it was a very easy listen and something that I would probably come back to time and time again. What did you think, guys?
I liked it a lot. I didn't like. So I had some gripes with I expected better quality in terms of transitions and stuff between the tracks. I liked how Sneap had little outros in a lot of the tracks. But then I didn't like how it transitioned from that outro into the next track. And I felt like it could have been a bit smoother, so I expected better. But it's a really fresh sound, and it's something that I'm going to constantly listen to. I like the artist selection as well. There's definitely at least one track for someone.
Yeah, the people they got to feature were really good.
Pretty much, regardless of genre you listen to, there's going to be something that you're going to be able to actually bob your head to. I think it's quite thought out, and the length is a nice length. It's a bit on the short side, only 21 minutes and 7 tracks, but it's exactly. But it's like there's not a single bad track.
Right, it's an EP though, it's not a full album.
It's just nice to listen to. It's quite fresh, in a sense of a word.
Yeah, I enjoyed the guest features, Corday, Snoop Dogg. I thought it was really good, to be honest. Not really much else for me to say. It's not my usual, but yeah. It was probably
what was your standout song?
Freestyle.
Yeah, that was mine as well.
Yeah.
I quite like Love You, to be honest. I thought it was a really good song. But I think all the songs are a good standard anyway. So, yeah. Ratings?
Yeah, I put 3 as well.
I think if they came back again, like sooner, they could probably do, if they put a better concept around it, they could probably score higher.
Yeah, I agree. Better concepts, maybe a bit longer. Easily a 4.
Reasons.
Cool. So we have. Oh, actually, well, no. I've got something to discuss before we get to reason, because reason is one that I'm gonna need to dissect. So before we get there, let's talk about Cardi B and what she's been up to recently. And before we get to today's news of Cardi B, let's talk about what's happened in the past week. So she had her birthday party, and a certain man said that he's not letting his girl go. So he went and bought a new Bentayga, Offset this is, and he bought a car seat for their baby together.
Was the car seat about?
And the car seat cost $8,000, which I think is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it wasn't a Bentayga, it was a Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's right. It was a Rolls-Royce car seat, custom made with Coach's name in it and stuff like that. So anyway, I thought that's all cute. But I just think it's amazing how, whenever Cardi B says that she's leaving Offset, he just steps up and does the most. You're not letting his baby go. I think that's cute, man. So cute. Some people say that he thinks it's a game, but I don't think he thinks it's a game. I think he's just doing what needs to be done to keep his baby happy.
Wasn't there a leak as well?
Nah, but so yeah, that was one thing. But
okay.
I think there was a leak. I think there was a titty leak, and she had some nudes leak, and it seems to me like she was out enjoying herself last night, and then when she got home, she must have been on her phone, and I assume she was probably taking nudes to send to Offset or to some other person, and she accidentally posted it to her Instagram story, which I think is quite hilarious. But now, I guess everyone kind of knew what it just looked like anyway, because she used to be a stripper, but they never had the fresh content. And now they do.
This is my thoughts.
That was like a little result for the casuals.
Conspiracy cap on right now. What if this is her OnlyFans rollout? Yeah. Well, I don't know this.
She's got OnlyFans already, mate. Where you been? She's one of the biggest earners of OnlyFans, but she doesn't post nudes.
Be the beginning of
she's one of the biggest earners
her OnlyFans content.
I'll tell you what, right? I don't think that's the case, and the reason why I say that is because she makes so much money from music. She doesn't need to do that. But I'll tell you what, also, if in 5-10 years' time her career goes on a decline, I think that she would do it. Why not? She used to be a stripper before. I'm sure she wouldn't mind doing it again. And that's not even like a disrespect to strippers here. She's comfortable with it. She's clearly comfortable with showing her body. So she would do it, but I just don't think she needs to do it right now. She makes a lot of money from music. So yeah, that was the news. So final album for review this week is Reasons album. You know what? I didn't even listen to that one. Actually, I did listen to it. So okay, cool. Let's do the price first, in fact, because Reason deserves to get the big send off. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. It was alright, but it just, to me, it seemed like an opportunity for
the new talent.
RocNation to share the light on some of the smaller artists that they've got signed.
I think that Georgia Smith song come out a while ago.
Yeah,
I remember hearing it a while ago.
The purpose of the album was meant to raise money for organizations connected to social justice. So all the proceeds of the album go to that. But I also believe that the artists that worked with RocNation on this project are either signed to them or going to be signed to them, or RocNation want to work with them in some sort of manner, even if it's management. And what they've done is they've paired smaller artists with bigger artists, so that you have a reason to listen to their music on this album. And yeah, like I said, it was alright, but it just nothing special. If we're gonna give it a rating, I'll probably give it 2 ears, possibly 3. You could tell from my voice, it really didn't excite me.
I think the first couple of tracks, I forgot. Yeah, the one with Actually was really good. That was really clever. Same with Vic Mensa.
I think it's Revelation.
But I was surprised at that. But it's
The
just,
one with AJ
like,
Tracey and
I
MNT was good as well, to be
I'm
fair.
probably not going to go back to any of these tracks again. Maybe the Rhapsody one, because I'm a fan of Rhapsody. But
Yeah,
outside
same.
of that, there's not much to write home about.
Oh, I love Rhapsody.
So what do you give it?
I think a 2 is fair.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Reasons.
Yeah, cool. I'm good with that.
Wait, I've got to say my standout track as well.
No. Before we get to reason, though, we've got one other thing. Let's drop some socials.
Track.
Okay, cool. My standout track was the first track, probably. Whatever it's called.
No, that's
It's Evolution, I think it's called.
Revolution, you're right, your buddy.
Yeah.
You can follow me.
That's the one.
Big Man.
Socials.
90 on Instagram, or you can follow me 9890 on the old Twitter. And of course you have to follow EarSauce. Please, if you're listening, we want to engage with you guys. Please drop us a DM.
I beg you. I beg you, please.
Drop us a DM.
I'm podcasting for my life.
Where you're from, where you're listening, and recommend us a song. Just recommend us a song. The socials are EarSauce _ on Instagram, EarSauce _ on Twitter, and you can find us on the EarSauce podcast on YouTube, or EarSauce on YouTube.
Cool. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Mr. Matty Lee. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Mr. Matty Lee.
No, man.
And
I'm not gonna lie.
Don't follow Ollie. He's boring.
At OC_10. But I basically retweet everything that tweets or just troll him, so it's funny to see that.
You're an idiot. Alright, cool. TDE's very own Reason. Label mate. He's in the same label as Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, Absol, SZA, Isaiah Rashad, and Sir as well is on TDE. So this record label is basically like the Avengers, isn't it? Like it's elite. But I'm gonna let you guys go first, because from what the sounds you're making, it sounds like we're gonna beef in it. So I'll let you go first.
Influence. I feel like I'm influenced too much. So I want you to go first now. So go tell us about it.
You can't influence me, because my view on this album was that it's incredible. So okay, look here. Let's put it this way, right? Reason is an artist I came across about 2 or 3 years ago. And when I first heard him rap, I was like, "Oh, this guy can really rap." And I really like his rapping voice and his rapping style, and the fact he tells stories in his songs, and also like the fact that he's quite reflective in when he raps. So he talks about himself, and he talks about situations that he finds himself in, or that either him or his family members find themselves in. So when I first heard his album and listened through, I was really impressed by it. And what was even more impressive was that album was recorded before he was signed to TDE. So he never had any support from anyone in that production camp to make his album better. Now, since then, he's been featured quite heavily. Well, not quite heavily, but he's been featured in a few of the tracks on the Good Music's release, Revenge of the Dreamers 3. And I've loved every single track he's been on. So again, my view of Reason, just my expectations of him have risen, and my view on him has just improved as well. I just think he's a great rapper. Now, when he announced New Beginnings, the name of his album, New Beginnings, when he announced that it was coming out, I was excited, and it was quite a short lead time as well. He announced it like on the Monday or something like that, and it came out on the Friday. So great. It lived up to expectations, basically, for me. I see Reason as like a hybrid between Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. He sounds like Kendrick, but he raps a bit more like J. Cole, and he has these stories that he tells, and he he kind of stays on a path. He stays on a subject matter that I'm interested in. I find that if Kendrick Lamar, I've said it before in other pods, Kendrick Lamar goes off on a tangent whenever he's rapping, especially on other people's tracks. On his tracks, he tends to stay a bit more on topic, but Reason stays on topic of what he's talking about, and I think it's incredible. And the first song on In the Beginnings is called Something More. And I really got like 2014 Forest Hill Drive vibes from that track. I just thought it was excellent, and it immediately just captured my attention. After that point, the album keeps its quality, but it takes on a different sound. But the sound is still consistent with what Reason makes, the music he makes. That sort of West Side, LA sort of vibe for the most part. It has some really strong features on the album. You've got Rhapsody on there, JID's on there, Schoolboy Q's on there. And I'm pretty sure that I've heard Kendrick Lamar's backing vocals on the song, on some of the songs as well. However, that might have been Reason's voice, its own voice, because I know his voice is a bit similar to Kendrick's. But yeah, the guy is a sick rapper, and I think this album is at least 4 years, and at least, I say it again, at least 4 years. And my standout song was either West Side, Something More, Fool, I Can Make It, Sauce, or Gossip, or Windows Cry. There's like 8 songs it could have been, which are incredible. But my standout song is West Side, featuring Mariba. But just be aware before you start speaking. I know where both of you live. Right.
So,
and I've got knives downstairs, okay? So I will actually come to you.
So, to give you a backstory, I first listened to Reason in 2018 when his album, what was it called again? There You Have It. That album blew my socks off.
There you have it.
Those of you who don't know, I wear my socks every day. I'm joking. But no.
The album came out in 2017,
that album was absolutely phenomenal. It was outstanding. I was so gassed. He had a Absol release for a song the other day with Reason on it as well. So visuals are incredible. And Reason again, he just spazzed on the track, and again, quality. So when you know Reason's dropping, like, in my mind, I'm expecting fire. I expect fire from anybody on TDE, to be honest. I hold them in high regard. So if Schoolboy's dropping, I'm mad excited for that. I love Schoolboy. But I like Reason just as much as Schoolboy. So I was actually quite disappointed in this album. Maybe disappointed is a strong word. Maybe I was slightly underwhelmed. It's not as good as
I'm confused. Oh my lord!
We can both agree to that. Like, don't lie. We can both agree to that. It's not as good. It's not as good as his last album.
No, we can't.
And
we cannot agree to that.
I wasn't as tantalized as I was with Papoose album. Papoose bars me to death, and I was blown away by that. Like, it's a good album. It's a really good album, and there are some really good tracks. But there's also some tracks that are just from Reason I expect better, and I don't think it's a bad album. It's one of the best ones we've reviewed in the podcast. I just hold him to such a high level, and this album he just fell short. My standout track is that's another thing, like Lambo truck. But
somebody get top on the phone, please. Somebody get top on the phone right now, because
album, where he features on that, and he's incredible on that. But my standout track was Windows Cry. I thought that track was deep. I thought that was a really good track.
It was incredible. But this is what I'm saying about the J. Cole thing as well, is that J. Cole has a song on his last album. The last track on his album is called Window Pane.
Yeah.
And I thought there's like a similarity between the two songs. But anyway, carry on. This is actually the last track of the album, because the final track after that, that's a bonus track. So what I said is correct.
It's a good album. Like, if you're not going to be disappointed if you're new to Reason, and it's probably going to be the thing that gets you into following him and listening to his stuff. And then when you listen to There You Have It, you're going to be like, oh, wow, this is actually better than this album. So, no. I'm not having this. I'm not having this.
I've had enough of your shit now. Manny, what have you got to say?
Yeah, hold on. You can't have your way all the time. It's a 3 years.
Look, let me go for this now. This is our first time hearing this.
This is foolishness.
For the first 5 tracks, this guy sounded like a Kendrick clone. I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was some Kendrick. You know, it just felt like he was copying Kendrick. I didn't know whether it was because, I'm not gonna lie. It felt like I don't know what album it was. It wasn't his last one, but the one before that. I felt like he was, Good Kid, Mad City. I felt I got a lot of Good Kid, Mad City vibes from the first 5 tracks. If I'm being honest. That's why it was really good for you to go first, because a few of the points you made,
any of the songs sounded
that I agreed on.
Songs on Good Kid, Mad City.
He's from the West Side, so he's from Kendrick's area, and those other, I should have noted them, but you made a few points. I do feel like I agree with what you said before in your review, Matt. He is from the West Coast, of course. However, he is heavily influenced by Kendrick, and you could tell by the first 5 tracks. It wasn't until he had this song with Rhapsody where you could actually see him coming into his own. Because I was very confused, as I'm a first-time listener to him. I enjoyed that track. I will be following him, but if he produces anything similar to those first 5 tracks, then definitely not. My favourite song as well was West Side too.
Wait, 1 sec. I got one thing to ask Manny.
Now you finished, because you beat me outside right now.
Mm-hmm. You feel like I was fair when I said it's going to make you want to follow him, but it's not really anything that mind-blowing.
Yeah, I agree with you, because why is it not mind-blowing? Because it's similar to Kendrick. Do you know what I mean? But as a new guy doing it. It is very similar.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but then if you're going to say that, then that means there's like a whole bunch of rappers from New York that you shouldn't listen to because they sound similar to someone else. Because I feel like, for me, Reason's content is very different. He does sound like Kendrick. I'm not going to even dispute that. He does sound like Kendrick Lamar, but his content is quite a lot different. And if there are similarities between what they're saying, it's because they're from more or less the same place. So they would have lived similar lives. So, you know what, like, for me, when I listen to it, I can see the similarities to an extent, but I always see it like Kendrick Lamar's raps they tend to be quite complicated. And I think that Reason raps in a simpler fashion. That's why I don't believe that he really sounds much like him. But I hear what you're saying.
Listen to his last album, man.
I listened to his last album, but
I say you're wrong, though, of course.
I don't know whether he's in the camp and he's been hanging around with Kendrick and Kendrick's been giving him advice. But those first 5 tracks, he just sounded like a Kendrick clone to me. I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion. I've given you my shout-out song. For me, he's a 3 years for me.
Listen, if you want to make this a 4,
so I'm going to give it a 5 years.
Totally fine. No, Papoose is getting a 4 as well.
It's not weird.
Papoose, bro. Papoose. Alright, it's fine. So this is
what gets a 4 as well?
It's a 3. It's a
what gets a 4? Papoose can fuck her off, but he ain't getting a 4. Man, wow, bro. I'm not posting that post just saying it, so you guys better do that post. But yeah, cool. Yeah, you do that.
I noticed that.
You know what?
Why didn't you tag your son good?
Either. So, but this time, you can do it. Alright. Well, I don't believe in that score. I I don't believe in the score. What am I tagging him for? Go back. You go and update the post and tag him. I don't care. I'm not doing it. I don't believe in it. You guys don't know music. Innit? You don't know music. That's the problem. Said it, yeah. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. I said it straight.
And we have to judge it as art. And that's what Papoose was. Papoose is a 4. A solid 4.
Sometimes
lads, we're going off
sometimes idiocy takes over, but you know that's how it is sometimes, isn't it? What can I do about that? Yeah. Anyway,
coming up?
thanks for tuning in to our podcast. I don't actually know what's coming out next week, you know, to be honest with you. Like, this scene, I think next week might be a bit quiet.
I feel like we should do Reason's last album, just to let people know. Didn't you just drop?
Yeah, I do.
No, I think
Wizkid's come dropping.
Sorry.
Did he? Made in Lagos? Yeah, so I think Jordan Lucas, Wizkid, Juicy J even meant to be dropping this week.
No, he hasn't dropped. He dropped something at the start of the year. Right?
I don't think 2 Chainz ain't dropped. There's 2 Chainz dropped, I know about that.
Yeah.
He hasn't dropped. Yeah, but that wasn't really him. That was a record label thing. But yeah, if you want to find out what's going to be dropping soon, you can check our Instagram. Yeah, I mentioned that Evolution EP. But yeah, you can check our Instagram or our Twitter feeds. We'll update that with information on new drops coming. All right, then. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. And we'll look forward to hearing from you guys. Look forward to hearing from us again next week. Take care.
All right, cool.